For the week of July 27, 2026, there's one pick, one reason, one long-term collector play. What shall it be? So welcome back to Green Avenue Comics, where we help collectors decide what to pre-order before Final Order Cutoff. This is your FOC favorite pick of the week for the week of July 27, 2026. Remember, these aren't just the hottest books. They're the books that could become tomorrow's keys. Let's jump into this week's picks. One of my favorite categories every single week is number one issues. Why? Because number one issues are the foundation of every new series. If a title becomes the next Something is Killing the Children, Berserker, or Transformers, collectors almost always come back looking for issue number one. That doesn't guarantee every first issue becomes valuable, but it guarantees you'll never be able to buy issue number one again after the series starts. So this week, my favorite number one pick is No Gods, No Masters number one from Boom Studios. This is an original 5-issue miniseries following 3 New York teenagers whose detention is interrupted by a massive kaiju attack on Manhattan. What really interests me is that this isn't another reboot or continuation. It's an entirely new story with new characters. Boom Studios has built a reputation for producing creator-owned books that occasionally explode in popularity, so I always pay attention whenever they launch a brand new property. Next up is Warbird number one. This one immediately caught my attention because of the creative team. It's from Derek Kolstad, the creator of the John Wick franchise. That along with Robert Venditti, Alex Milov, and Esad Ribic. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing anyone's names, but that is an incredibly strong lineup. The premise is basically a globe-spanning military spy thriller centered around stealing the world's most advanced fighter jet. If you're a fan of high-octane action movies, this could easily become one of the sleeper indie books of the year. The next up we have Tomb of Apocalypse number one. Marvel's Tomb of Apocalypse number one is another book I'm watching closely because since the success of X-Men 97, we've seen renewed collector interest in Apocalypse. Books like Rise of Apocalypse have already experienced increased demand. Now, Marvel is putting Apocalypse back in the spotlight with Wolverine and Jubilee involved. Will this become another key Apocalypse storyline? Nobody knows yet, but history has shown that collectors continue chasing major Apocalypse books. Then we have Star Wars Book of Boba Fett number one. This is my final number one pick of the week. Marvel continues adapting the Disney Plus series in the comic form, and movie adaptations don't always become major collector books. However, Star Wars remains one of the strongest collector franchises in comics. This series also introduces several television characters to comics for the first time. That alone makes it worth watching. If you're already a Star Wars collector, this one probably belongs in your pull list. This is a long-term hold. And for FOMO this week, honestly, I don't see any true FOMO books. There are certainly some solid pre-orders, but nothing that looks like it appears to, that is going to disappear overnight or explode solely because of internet hype. And that's actually a good thing. Buying books because they're genuinely interesting usually works out better than chasing temporary hype, although temporary hype is fun. But let's move on to Collector Certified. Collector Certified are books that I view different from FOMO books. They're books with sustained interest. Collectors continue talking about them week after week because they're building towards something important. For this week, I believe that's going to be Absolute Flash number 18. Jeff Lemire has already confirmed that Absolute Cyborg will debut in Absolute Flash number 20, kicking off the arrival of the Teen Titans inside the Absolute universe. Whenever we know a major debut is coming, I start looking at the issues immediately before it. Marvel and DC both have long history of teasing characters with cameos, shadow appearances, or last page reveals before the official first appearance. That means issues number 18 and number 19 suddenly become books worth paying attention to. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but if DC drops even a single panel teaser, collectors will notice immediately. I say start at number 18 and watch carefully. Now for my FOC favorite pick of the week, that's going to be Absolute Green Arrow number 4. The Absolute line continues to impress me and frankly everyone basically around the globe. The series has steadily built momentum since issue number 1. Now we're getting the continuation of the Absolute version of Solomon Grundy. If this interpretation becomes as popular as some of the other Absolute reinventions, collectors are going to want the early appearances. Issue number 3 introduces this new version. Issue number 4 expands on it. That makes this my favorite long-term pre-order this week. I think this is a must-buy at cover price. So before we wrap up, here's something I always want to tell collectors. Sometimes the biggest winners aren't the books everyone is screaming about today. They're the books quietly building momentum while everyone else is chasing hype. Pay attention to creator teams. Pay attention to first issues. Pay attention to early appearances before everyone realizes they're important. That's where long-term collections are built. So those are my favorite FOC picks for the week of July 27th, 2026. Let me know down in the comments, which books are you pre-ordering? Did I miss something that you're excited about? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another collector's perspective. Until next time, this is Green Avenue Comics, the news, the facts, the collector's perspective. This was my FOC picks of the week.